To know ADC, you see a handshake, a symbol that stands for belief, passion, ideas, and creativity. Service is integrity, confidence and commitment. We are the definition of democracy. Your party, for you and by you. Every life is important, every right is respected. We promote friendship, cooperation, and collaboration. We believe that when we work together, we make great things happen. With love and respect, we shake hands. Yes, we shake hands. Therefore, we say, ADC arise, ADC arise, ADNC arise and shine.
This message is endorsed by ADC 7th Zone, ADC-DN, African Democratic Congress, Diaspora Nigerians, Diaspora Network.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect what matters and stay up to date. Sharing the story in the News Echoes program, African Diaspora and the House Legal English News Network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates and current affairs as they affect global life.
All right, viewers, you're welcome back. Welcome back to the second segment of SSM Friday International Update. Yes, part of the update today is our face-to-face conversation. Face-to-face conversation is a program we have with dialogue with political figures, notable people around the world, Nigerians, Africans, and today we have this great pleasure, honor to speak with somebody that is doing something very impressive. He's far away in Asia, but his touch is reaching out in Africa and Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but I can hear you just now. At the point there was a break, I didn't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you too. It's loud and clear. So, Dr. Ben, we are honored to have you on our face-to-face conversation this Friday, the 13th of February, 2026. Let's hear from you. Who is Dr. Ben? First of all, let's meet you.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Nice meeting you again, Mark. And
Thank you.
I thank all our viewers for joining. Thank you for the opportunity and the privilege of speaking to Nigerians through your platform. You are doing a great work. God bless you.
Thank you. You too.
I am Dr. Ben Chukwu, simply known as Dr. Ben, though some people call him Brother Ben. And simply, I am a medical doctor. I'm a general surgeon. I am the head of surgery in a general hospital here in Saudi Arabia where I work, and also the head of accident and emergency. And I'm a passionate Nigerian. I think I'm one of those who can describe that, you can easily say that activism runs in their blood. They are uncomfortable. Yeah, they're uncomfortable when injustice is playing. And that is who I am. That's the passion I have. I want to see a great Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome again. So the intro also have you as an activist, like you said, a political analyst, and more importantly, it says obedient movement advocate, a vanguard for good governance and social justice. Now let's come deep. Let's go further, Dr. Ben. First, let me hear from you. What do you think is the state of Nigeria at this moment politically? What's the state of Nigeria at the moment?
Yeah, honestly speaking, Nigeria is in a very pathetic state. Very pathetic state. Honestly, if you want to compare the new Nigeria and the kind of Nigeria that we deserve and that we are hoping will come out one day, if you want to compare it with what we have today, you will see something that is a stark difference. Nigeria we have today is a Nigeria where there is nothing like, rule of law. That's one. And this is a vital criteria or vital ingredient in good governance, or in a society that is ruled by that experiences good governance. There is expenditures and processes and resources are not open. They are done secretly. There's no openness. There's no transparency. Insecurity has overwhelmed our country to the point that if you are not killed by terrorists, your lives and livelihood will be burnt and destroyed by armed militia or bandits, or you are destroyed or killed by reptiles, or you are completely messed up by religious intolerance and so on. where you have some strong individuals who are oppressing the society, where our debt is far more than what we can generate. And because of that, our institutions are starved of funds because we use the funds to service debts. The funds are collected, the debts were incurred, they collected the loans and they squandered it. They ate them up. They wasted them in building things that are relevant to a clean society, things that are relevant to a good society. They spent it in things like yachts for enjoyment, in building billion-dollar mansions for people who already have mansions. You have a society where the citizens are frustrated to the point that most people have given up. And even when you want to try to do something, they'll tell you, forget Nigeria. Nigeria is gone. In fact, let me tell you, we're in a country where even the leading class, the political class that lead us, do not even live in Nigeria. All of them are buying citizenship and estates, houses in other countries. Go to Caribbean, you see our senators with all their buildings and houses they have purchased secretly, Secretly, they purchased citizenship because they don't believe in Nigeria. They believe Nigeria is a ship that's going to sink. We are in a country where nepotism is the order of the day. There is nothing like, merit-based, employment or appointment. Our leaders are doing things the way they like, nothing like merit. You have an economy that has nothing, that does not consider productivity. In fact, we have a country where our major source of income, that is oil, is over 80% stolen based on former records. I don't know what it is today, but this is something that is majorly stolen. You have a country where the politicians actively, intentionally, play divisive politics and divide the people. So you have a country that you cannot call a society, you cannot call an economy, you cannot call a people that have decency. And it's not because, I'll be saying some of the things I'm saying today, not because I want to demarket Nigeria, but because I want Nigerians to wake up and begin to do the things that we need to do.
Let me hold you there. What you just said now is what has become like a norm. People from different places will tell you they are when you talk like this, you're demarketing Nigeria, you're putting a bad record out. But the fact of the matter is, things are not right. Things are not very good with us, as much as you've said now. Now let's look at some other things, Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben, we've gone through a lot. We've gone through the insecurity you mentioned, and lately we've seen series of attacks, series of killings. In fact, a town was actually wiped away because with these bandits. And we now heard that Americans are here to help us to do this, but we still don't see change. It's even getting worse. Plus, the Americans have come. Now, what do you say about all that? Is there hope? Are we caught up in something that we cannot help ourselves? Are we all going to go down in this banditry and terrorism and all of this? What will you say about security, first of all, Dr. Ben?
So, my brother Mark, thank you for that question. But the honest truth is that Nigeria has gone down the drain a long time ago. I can give you some facts, some details. Nigeria, even in Africa, has the worst what you call life expectancy.
Okay.
54 years. Ghana has 64 or 65. Kenya has 64. You have a place like Singapore, only what? That has life expectancy of 83 years. 83, yes. And that's the highest in the world. Other countries are very good. UK has 72. Now Nigeria has what? 54. You know what that means? That averagely most of us will die before we get to our 54 years.
Sure.
That's just expectation. And you see that people are dying at 8, 2, 1. Even babies that are born on the day of their birth, many of them are dying. What is childhood mortality in Nigeria? Is the worst also in the world. About 110 of each 1,000. You understand? 1,000 live births. You have about 110 will die. More than 10% dying. Now you look at things like in places in other countries, like places like you have a place like Kenya, They're even better than Nigeria. Ghana here is far better than Nigeria. And the thing I'm talking about, look at a place like Singapore. It's just 2 out of that 1,000 that may likely die. Now, Nigeria has gone so bad. Okay, look at maternal mortality. I am speaking this way because this is my field. Look at women. If you have 100,000 women, you expect that 1,000 or more than 1,000 of them will die because of childbirth-related issues. In a country where other countries, the highest you can get among other countries is like maybe 200. In a very bad country like, let's say, Ghana may have just about 200. You have something like, I think South Africa has just about 118. And you have USA just 17 out of 100,000, but Singapore just 8 out of 100,000. Nigeria has 1,000. Now let's talk about India. Far better than Nigeria, despite their huge population. So what I'm trying to say is that Nigeria is already, before you talk about America coming to save Nigeria is already gone.
Oh dear.
Long time ago. But the only reason why many people don't see it is that they look at data as figure. They don't see data as facts, real human beings dying every day. That's what is happening in our country. People die like rats, die like rodents, die like cockroaches. Imagine you. Okay, I just read a story again about a reminder of what happened. The dean, a professor, renowned professor in Borno State. Yes. Who was in Nigerian Military University or so, was a dean of engineering or something. Imagine a human being at that level, he's kidnapped and kept in the camp, tortured until he dies. My teacher, who trained me, a professor of neurology, just died in the kidnappers camp. Also, nobody knew about, the body is not even seen. Kidnapped almost 2 years ago. Prosifrem. There are many others. I have a consultant neurosurgeon who also trained me when I was doing my residency training. Died just because there was no road for him to pass. He had asthmatic attack, and that was how he died. Nigerians die like rats. They are taken into riff rats, criminals, bandits, very dirty animals, take you into the bush with your whole family and rape your wife in your presence. Nigeria is messed up. So let's talk about what you're talking about, the insecurity. The truth is that we all know the problem. Nigeria has what it takes to help itself. But because of complicity, because of wickedness of our political class, because of their lack of, they have no sympathy. When you look at people who have no human thinking and you allow them become leaders, I am sorry, because Nigerians did not make them leaders. We all know how they became leaders. Nigeria didn't make them leaders. That's my sympathy for Nigerian public. But if we don't do something about them, that's where we're going to be blamed. They seized the power last time. They deceived us last time. They rigged the election last time. If you allow them rig it again, then that means we don't deserve to be human beings in the world. And I want to tell Nigerians that soon, every country in the world will be allergic to Nigerians. They will be anti-Nigeria. It will happen because it's already happening. I'm seeing it every day. I have seen myself walk into VFS office and somebody is asking me, which country's passport are you holding? The only saving grace I have is because by the things I do and by the place I live, I can go to wherever I want to go. But each time I want to mention that country where I'm from, it's heavy in my mouth because it is a minor.
Still there's hope.
Now, coming to your question. America can help. We desire that they help. But I want to tell Nigerians, that's the summary of what I'm saying. I want to tell Nigerians that it is only you Nigerians that can help yourself. And the day you decide that enough is enough, I tell you, the political class, they will run. They will beg for their life. And why do I say so? They are not up to 10,000. All this will destroy Nigeria. You are talking about 240, 250, more than 250 million people. And less than 10,000 human beings are taking advantage of us and destroying us. The day we say enough is enough, everybody, professionals, security forces, the poor people, the traders, everybody say no. We must take back our country. From that day, the political class will know they have it has come to an end. The day Nigerians say enough is enough. So let's not be putting our whole hope in America. They have their interests too. They have their interests. They
Okay.
can't spend all their resources for you, but we desire that they help, and I pray that they help. However, it's only the that can deliver them.
Strong words here. You are blowing real hot. Dr. Ben, one of the things we want to also do is to talk about the governance, because that's the core of the country. That's the core of our existence and everything, the politics. Now, you talk more on good governance. And last month, we started with the amendment of our constitution and what they did. Now, it might also be signed very soon. Tinubu, the president, might sign that amendment. But what will you say about this electoral amendment bill that doesn't all go well with a lot of people? What's your view on this?
My brother, thank you so much. I think that I'm happy. This is the first time I'm actually happy that Nigerians are waking up to their basic responsibility and being awake and sensitive to the rule of law, good governance issues. I am actually happy, but I will beg Nigerians not to go and rest, not to give up. Let the heat continue. Let the pressure continue. They cannot run away with this. Let me tell you, what is happening is that you have the government, you have a leader, or you have a National Assembly who are supposed to make electoral law airtight, watertight, such that nobody can take advantage or exploit any written word that is vague or that is that's not clear, or there is any loophole. That's what they're supposed to do. Look out for loopholes and block it, so that you have electoral law that can guarantee integrity in our electoral system. But no, what you have is National Assemblies, not all of them anyway, especially their leader, coming out, and what he wants to do is to look for how to insert a clause that will give him the opportunity to rig, manipulate, exploit, and give us what we do not want, so that he can steal, or him and his team, or his people, or his party can steal the victory the way they did in 2023. So that is what they are doing. So let me say clear and tell Nigerians that even what most Nigerians are shouting and saying, they will still exploit it and take advantage of it. But let me tell you what Nigerians should start demanding. Let me say it clear so that they will understand. That's what I've been advocating. One, mandatory. Take note of the words, because if you remove any of them, they will exploit it. They will approve it for you. And at the end of the day, we will see exactly what happened in 2023 to happen again. But if you follow exactly, it will sound tautological. But that is the only way you can hold this slippery National Assembly, slippery INEC, and slippery government. What do? Mandatory, real-time, electronic transmission of the results from the polling units to a publicly accessible central INEC portal. If you remove any of these items, any of the words are put, they will exploit it. They will do real-time transmission from if you didn't put polling units, they will do it from the local governments. And tell you that's when they finish collecting. The Electoral Act did not specify it must be from the polling units. Now, if they put the polling unit and they did not put mandatory, of course, that's what we are fighting. Or if you put the polling unit and you did not put publicly accessible real-time, sorry, I didn't put the real-time, publicly accessible real-time. If you do not put real-time to from the polling unit to the central portal, they will exploit the real-time. And when they do, in fact, any of those words you remove, they will. So you must say mandatory real-time transmission of of the results. And we are saying results now because we have not. If you tell them now to transmit real-time the votes, they will give you a lot of reasons why they cannot do it. It is mandatory real-time transmission of results from the polling units to a publicly accessible central INEC portal.
Okay,
that is what
but don't you also know that? Wouldn't you also look into the fact that Nigerians also, our people are very corrupt-minded. all of these checks, all of these measures could be put in, and there will still be rigging that day. Do you see something like that?
Now, see, my brother, why we are saying that INEC must be mandated to do this correct thing, this right thing. We understand how corrupt the political class and the people they use are. Why we are saying INEC should put this in check, let there be the law. However, after this one, the next article should be that anyone that goes against this, or by chance this is not done by anyone, undermined by anybody, any staff of INEC or any personnel, punishment should be well spelled out. 20 disqualification from any election ever in Nigeria, and 20 years imprisonment if you're found guilty of any electoral offense, including intentionally not uploading or trying to divert the traffic of elections, or try to, violence of any kind or inducement of any kind, whether it is at the primary levels, party primary levels, or even at the general elections. So once we have a strong, watertight election, we prescribe, punishment for electoral offenses. I tell you, even the politicians will be scared because they don't trust anybody. They don't even trust themselves. The person you are calling to come and induce may want to take advantage of you. Also, we must put anyone who reports, or you are approached to be bribed and you report, there should be an incentive. And if you do not report, even if you do not take it, but you do not report, there should be a punishment. So these are things that can be put in place. Now, honestly, one of the pillars, I have about 8 pillars of good governance and working democracy. And one of them is what we call, one of them is electoral integrity. Do you understand? When your elections are properly conducted, is credible. In fact, let me call credible elections. If there is no credible election and you cannot choose your leaders properly, you cannot say you have a working democracy. You are forcing the people. Is by force. Your leadership is by force. You are ruling by force. So it's not a democracy. It's not a working democracy. So one of them is that corruption that you mentioned, there should be ruthless anti-corruption fight. When you talk about corruption, what I was talking about, how bad our health indices are. I mentioned Singapore as having the best in maternal mortality, the lowest figure. And that is just about, I think it's 8 in 100,000. And then when it comes to child mortality, you have just about 2 out of 100. Then you now come to life expectancy, they have 83 years life expectancy, as against Nigeria with 54. Now, one of the reasons I like making comparisons with Singapore is because Singapore was like where we are today, and it was transformed by one man. So when people say that there's nothing one person can do, if you elect the good president, the one person, Nigeria is so destroyed, so bad that nothing anyone can, even if you elect Holy Ghost himself or Jesus Christ himself, that there's nothing anybody can do. Those are big lies that are meant to deceive us. Just get one genuine, sincere president, Nigeria will turn around.
Yes, on that note, Doctor, I see you are also an advocate for the obedient movement and the obedient party. Now, what I notice is the obedient movement is more on the south of Nigeria, southeast, south, southwest. The north of Nigeria is not getting, the bell is not ringing as much as it should. And the leadership of Nigeria has to, the leader, that president has to be popular in all corners of the 7 geopolitical zone. Take note, it's even 7 with ADC. So what are the efforts being put to make sure that that day of the election, we're not just talking of the South, we're not talking of just Imo, Abia, Anambra, Delta. Kaduna is there, Jigawa is there, Borno is there, Sokoto is there. These are all part of the states in Nigeria. What are those plans the obedient movement and the Obi party has towards such coverage?
Thank you so much. for that question. It's true that I'm not living in Nigeria, but I'm a ground, I'm on ground because my heart is in Nigeria. Every day I'm on Nigeria. And I was in Nigeria about 4 months ago. 4 months ago, I was in Kano, and I was in Kano 2 times within August and September last year. I was in Kano. I was also in Kano just before 2023 election. I move around in the north too. And when you say that, the obedient movement, what are they doing about that is mainly in the south? I will tell you that is not exactly so. But I'm happy that you said it is mainly in the south. Yes, mainly in the south, but it is spreading deep into the north. I speak almost every week with our coordinators and some of our leaders in the north, in different states like Jigawa,
Taraba,
Adamawa. We have them, and they are on ground. Let me tell you, in 2023, I had 19 coordinators from all the 19 northern states for the professionals Obedient Presidency. And we commissioned them and we mobilized, and they worked hard. So they are still there waiting for the right time. Obedient, and now PO has become more popular. So when we talk about what is happening, PO has become even more popular. He has gone into the hinterland in the north. He has done a lot of, in fact, I was looking at the highest spender, the politician in Nigeria that spends more than any other politician. I tried to do a small research, and I found out that persistently, the AI brings out P2B as the highest spender. And I'm sure many people will be shocked. They will be. And when I looked at the places he donated the money, I saw that a lot of the cities in the north, a lot of the villages in the north, a lot of the communities in the north were beneficiaries to those monies. He spent 1.5 billion in 2024 on donations to rural communities, to schools, to nursing, to health institutions. And he was doing this, and the people, if he appears there, they see him almost like their father, and they sing for him. So he is there. When we are asking for, free, fair, credible election, we are confident that if you do election today in Nigeria, free, fair, the over 12 million votes that PO had, I'm sorry if I say this, you argue with me, because the official record says 6 million or 6.something million. Yeah, you will say that. But you and I saw the result sheet where 198 votes was converted to zero. And you extrapolate the implication of such that happened in over 1,000 polling units. Can you extrapolate the implication of that to that figure? After suppression and after mutilation of the results, and you saw 6.something million, I had my download data that showed that the 6.something million that was said were just a little fraction of the real votes that PO got in 2023. So coming to the north, you mentioned our people are working, and the Obedient Movement have their plan, but these are not the kind of things I'll come to this public media and begin to tell you I have so person here, this person here. Our people are working, and we have intention to make sure that the north is well infiltrated and convinced with the right message. Choose the right leader who has integrity, who is prudent, and who is competent. And that's what we're asking Nigerians to do. Let's not choose people because of their tribe, or because he's my religion, or because he is somebody I know. Choose that person you have seen who is competent, who has integrity, and who has who is very prudent to manage the resources of Nigeria and take Nigeria out of this dungeon of wastefulness into the land that we are looking for, the new Nigeria. Thank you.
Wow. So, viewers, we are here on this special Friday the 13th of February 2026. I'm here with Dr. Ben Chukwu. Dr. Ben Chukwu is also the chairman of ADC Diaspora Network, the network outside of ADC in Asia. Dr. Ben, before we go on with few more talk, this morning, the INEC boss, Amopiton, has said that they will need 873 billion naira to run the 2027 election. We know what happened in 2023. So much was also put to the INEC office then. And we also know even the foreign donors. Britain gave some amount, also US and some organizations. And eventually we had that story of glitch. We had the story of election malpractices and all of that. Now, this huge sum of money that he's asking for this time, hopefully, will this money be used wisely? Because it will be fooling ourselves when we put so much money into our election, and at the end, we'd have they have who they want to put as the leader. You know, they've already arranged somebody, and they still make us spend this amount of money. This is our shared wealth. This is our taxpayers' money. This is money coming from different corners. So much money there. So what's your outlook for 2027, Dr. Ben, with this amount of money?
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Honestly speaking, the problem of Nigeria, you have already noted, is corruption. Nigeria has no problem of resources and wealth.
Okay.
It's corruption. And the reason why, one of the things that will make you know, or ways of curbing corruption, is to maintain accountability and transparency in all processes. Talking about from budgets and budgeting processes, talking about resource, productivity, all the resources you have, if they are, transparently and accountably cared for, you can be sure that, Nigerians will be the best countries you can imagine to live in the world. Why am I saying so? My problem with INEC is not that they may not get that money. They will get that money. They will get the money. But the question is, we should interrogate and track the process, track the spending. They must make open budgeting. That is transparency. Tell us what you want to do with each kobo of this money. And we should now be able to track you and hold you accountable and see if you'll be able to do exactly what you have said you will do. But if you just come and tell us with mouth, we need so amount to do this, who are you deceiving? You want to collect the money and do what you want to do like others. They buy yachts, buy houses, buy estates abroad, and bank the rest in Switzerland and other places. We need to know what you want to do with the money. Because if you bring out that money, I'll tell you that money will put Starlink in every single village, nook and cranny. I will tell you that we can get within the next 5 months electronic voter machine. We will no longer be talking about real-time transmission of election results. We will start talking about real-time voting and transmission of votes. There are two different things.
Voting. Yes,
you
real-time
put your finger,
voting.
your biometric is captured and confirmed by the same machine, and the same machine approves. You now thumbprint all the people digitally, and it is carried straight to the central portal. And anywhere you are, from your bedroom, you are looking at your phone, you are seeing the tally, you are seeing the data like raindrops dropping in your phone and is rising. You can know who is winning from your bedroom. That is the standard, the gold standard. But we are not asking for that, because if we ask them to produce to procure electronic voting machine, now they will think we are being highfalutin. They're even fighting real-time result transmission, result that they will finish, count, everybody confirm, sign, and then they will upload. They are fighting it because they don't want to do that. If you now ask them to do real-time voting, they will start telling you so. Let me tell you here, all those lies coming from Senate that Nigeria cannot sustain real-time, transmission of result because of network coverage is a lie. In 2023, it was seen that 92% of Nigerian space is covered by network. 92,
yes, Mahmoud said it. Mahmoud said they did the experiment, and it all has coverage. Mahmoud,
92.
Mahmoud, prior
thank
to
you, my
that.
brother. Thank you so much. That was in 2023. As I'm talking to you now, we have it. That 8% that we are not covered. By now would have been completely covered, or at least almost 100% covered. And let's even assume that they are not covered. Do you know what is going to happen? Let's map. There's a mapping of the areas that are not covered. Let's say they will now need about 100,000 Starlink devices. So why don't you procure it? Why are we here deceiving ourselves? Because some people are bent on destroying this country. We will not allow them. Nigeria must be good. and we must save this country, and we must stop corruption in this country, and we must uphold integrity in this country, and we must all begin to sing a different song, and we must begin to reject every form of corruption. Thank you.
Reject every form of corruption. Very strong words. One of the things that also affects our policy, our governance, we talk of good governance, is godfatherism. And that has also gone very deep in the Nigerian fabric of governance. We see a situation where a governor, an outgoing governor, will make sure his own person comes in and, wants for. But these days, they are of God's sons, whatever they call the political God's sons, are betraying them, like the case of Rivers, like the case in Kanu, and we know all the old stories, Tinubu and the governor of Lagos at one point, and so many other stories. Now, in your quest for good governance, how do you look at godfatherism? What's your view on that, godfatherism in Nigeria? Take the case study of Wike and Fubara.
Thank you. It is actually so vast that I would not really like to just take one person. It is every day, it's the order of the day in Nigeria. Somebody appoints who becomes your governor, one person in a state that has 8 million, 9 to 10 million people, or even more. Then one person arrogates himself the right to decide who becomes the governor of the entire state. And it is not because the person wants even to get things right, but because he wants to still have his hand, in the coffers of that state. That's what happens everywhere. And why does it happen? Because we don't have a merit-based appointments, merit-based election, because we don't have credible elections. Because if we have credible elections, the people will decide who they want, and not who the godfather wants. So the godfather will be irrelevant. So naturally, the one single bullet that will kill and send to the grave godfatherism that you're referring to is credible election from this technology-driven, real-time transmission of election from polling units to the central viewing portal that everybody is watching. That is publicly accessible. You can access it anytime, real-time. You are watching it, it is coming. Why do I say so? These people will transmit results real-time from polling units. If you don't put that publicly accessible single central INEC portal, you know what they will do? What they will do, sorry for this call interrupting. What they will do is they will divert it to a sub-central portal and manipulate it at that point. So the traffic will be diverted to another portal where they have control and manipulate it from there. And when they finish manipulating it, they will now transmit it to this portal where you can view it. And if you talk at the court, they are justified. So that's why I'm actually specifying that it must be real-time transmission to that central INEC portal, specified central INEC portal, and it must be that real-time transmission. So that is the bullet that will destroy that godfatherism, lack of merit. What we should be looking at is if nepotism and favoritism is killed as a cankerworm, then there will be nothing like, godfatherism. There will be nothing like it is my person that will come. We must share it among ourselves. That is the wickedness that happens in Nigerian politics. And that is why the professionals, the technocrats, the sound people, the people who have impeccable character have run away and left only criminals to take over and control our country, and it is destroying our country. There are places I want to enter, even where I am living, and when I travel around the world, I become so ashamed of where I am coming from. Not because I don't like Nigeria, I love Nigeria with passion, but because when you call that name, it is synonymous with crime, corruption, especially when we got a president that has, a lot of accusations and a lot of things around him. Starting from beds, starting from names, starting from, a lot of things we all know about. And when you want to say, people look at you, you become ashamed of yourself. I want to tell the world that Nigerians have men of integrity. Yes. Nigerians have people with character and integrity, and they are more in number. But the few criminals are giving us bad name, painting us black, and many of us, anyway, let me just laugh.
but still, you need to walk with your head high, because we still, when you look at it from the African perspective, Nigeria is still a strong country. You still have a lot of good coming out from Nigeria. I mean, the top female world bankers that have held that financial institution were Nigerian women. You have in the entertainment scene, you have in the sports scene, you have other things. So, but politically, yes, we have a lot of work to do. So, but there's hope. We have a few more minutes. The network, the interview is wonderful. I'm enjoying this, Doctor. You're opening my eyes to some real facts, opinion. Let's look at also we've talked about the election, the amendments. We've talked about Obidient and his coverage. Another aspect I want us to talk about a few minutes. How do we go about, because truly, like you said earlier, it is not only about all of these amendments. How do we settle our security on the day of election? Because we have these situations where people back in the days will steal ballot boxes, will come to police station, commit crime. There was that year we saw the woman with the blister over her face, all because she came to vote. People were beaten, people were heckled and all of that. How do we also look, what's the measures to security on election day for the masses?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark, for that question. If we finish everything and we do not talk about security on the election day, everything can be messed up by. Now, there are two things. When you talk about security, there are two things that currently, in today's world, in 21st century, that determine security.
Okay.
The rule of law, technology.
Okay.
Now, by the time every single polling unit is monitored, that is one. And you have the law passed that anybody that commits electoral fraud, including electoral violence, would suffer extreme punishment, including over 20 years in if a person kills or harms somebody, it could even be life. Sorry. It could even be life imprisonment. It could even be, firing squad. But let's talk about the person commits other frauds, intimidation and other things. That person can take minimum of 20 years in prison.
Remember a man called MC Oluomo and his gang and what they did in Lagos?
Yes, I agree with you. These are things they do. They did all this because there's no punishment. If the law, let me also tell you something that you may have forgotten. Could you remember that few months to the election, Buhari ordered that every gun, every arm that any citizen have is illegal. And there was house-to-house search for weapons. Do you understand? Now, do you know what that means? He disarmed the public, disarmed individuals, and then they armed their gangs or their thugs, like MC and his thug and his people. And these were the people carrying arms to, do what they did to Nigerians. And because Nigerians were exposed, no arm to defend themselves, they gave up. They couldn't come out to vote. And those that came out had wounds and injuries. So this is exactly what is happening. So our people must have every single polling unit covered. Now, but let me give us Nigerians one good hope. When we are talking about real-time transmission of election results from polling units, we in our team, that is Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, we have already developed an app that will transmit the same result and incidences from the polling units, every single polling unit, to a central portal that will be accessible by Nigerians. When we are pushing for Nigerians for INEC to use it, it's just for us to have, to make sure that officially, our own, we will do it. Nigerians will do it. I'm sure there are other bodies, other parties that are developing their applications that will help them transmit the same, incidences and results from real time from the polling unit. So we will have. So INEC should not think that even if they don't pass this law, that they are covered. They can do whatever they like. The result, the real authentic result that are time and location stamped will be available. We will have it. It's already done. They can't stop Nigeria from transmitting results. So what we're asking them to do is to do the official one. But this one we have will be known by Nigerians even before they finish collecting their own results. We will have the results from different states. If you sit down and add them up, you will know the winner of the election, and Nigerians can begin to celebrate early on the election day because they already know who has won the election, the authentic winner of the election. And if they do the wrong thing like they did in 2023, Nigerians are no more like they are not sure. They are certain that the real result is not what was declared. And they can do whatever they like to take back their country. And the winner now has something to arm himself to negotiate with international communities and bodies to come out and to force Nigerian government to do the right thing. So we are not sleeping and we are not keeping quiet. Nigeria must be rescued and we must do things right. We are just telling them now so that they will know that there's nothing they can do to rig 2027 election. It cannot be. They can't rig it. If they rig it, it will be very obvious. Everybody will know that they have rigged it. And once we also have all the results from the polling units. So they cannot, it won't be like 2023. So I want to thank you so much for those questions. And I also want to thank our viewers for being interested and being connected. I want to make an appeal to Nigerian professionals. I want to make an appeal to Nigerian professionals, to the professional bodies, NBA, NMA, all the other doctors, all the other professors, all the other professionals, engineers, and so on. This is no more a time to keep quiet. It is time for us to join the ring. I'm not saying you must come and contest. Do whatever you can to push for a good country, for a new Nigeria, because the professors that are being kidnapped and killed by bandits are our colleagues. Your fellow professionals are being treated like animals by riffraffs, by bandits. Some people are being raped. Their daughter are being raped in their presence. Some people are being cut off. Some people are being butchered like goats. Nigeria is bleeding. Not just bleeding, it's sanguinating. We are at the point where we can no longer keep quiet. I want to beg every professional, don't sit back. Why would you leave all these hooligans and criminals to be controlling and destroying our country? Which kind of man are you? Which kind of human beings are you? If I were your wives and your children, I'll be disappointed in you as a man to sit back and watch riffraffs and criminals that are not even up to 10,000 to control your destiny and the destiny of your children and your grandchildren. I'm disappointed in Nigerian men, Nigerian professionals, Nigerian professors, the academia, everybody put together. I am disappointed if you continue to sit back and watch Nigeria go down the drain. You are not worthy to be a man. And I wonder why your wives should be respecting you and why your children will be proud of you. You are not good enough to be a father. If you continue to keep quiet and watch your country go down the drain, we must rise up and stand against corruption, stand against everything that is bad, and take back this country and make it a country that we can all be proud of. You sit back, you're pursuing career, you finish all your researches, you finish all your research and get all 20, 30, somebody will just kidnap you and butcher you and put you inside the toilet or inside the pit. And you don't see the value of your life. That is even lower than the value of the life of a cow. And you tell me that what is more important is for you to go and be conducting research. Yes,
thank you
very much. I do everything I do. I operate almost every week, every time, and I do my work, but I cannot rest until the issue of Nigeria is settled.
It's really interesting that a doctor like you, an accomplished surgeon, you still have this energy and all of this to be politically inclined too. We want to thank you, Dr. Ben. We want to really appreciate your coming to grace the stream, SSM, Schengen Story Media today. We will need more of you. We will be calling on you. This year is more like a galvanizing year, campaign year. The year we need to be negotiating, talking, and saying the right things. So please be around. We'll need you. You have a lot to say more. You have too much more to say. And we hope that these words reach out to all ears today. Thank you very much. So, viewers, this is it. SSM face to face with Dr. Ben, all the way from Asia, and he has really put a lot of things to light. Dr. Ben, thank you.
Thank you so much, and viewers,
yes.
Thank you so much for joining.
Yes, thank you. So until we come again, Dr. Ben, you definitely have to come more and more. We need to.
I'm all available as long as it's something that has to do with changing Nigeria.
That's correct.
And I will always be available. Thank you, and God bless you for the work
so,
you're doing.
Next time we could also bring an opponent party, opposition party, so that we could both see from their own end too, because sometimes it's good to hear from your enemy, hear from your opposition and know how they are reasoning and how they go. So maybe next time we could have one or
definitely,
two of them.
that would be beautiful. That would be excellent. We need to see how these people that are supporting the status quo in Nigeria, how they reason. I may have to examine the mental state of such persons. Even those who are calling themselves city people today. I need to, their brain need to be examined. Who will see the death that Nigerians are going through, and they are boldly standing up. It means we need to do some mental check on some people. So we need such people to come here. Let's look at them face to face and let them tell us why these health indices that we are seeing, are like this, and why they are still talking and supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So viewers, this is it. We have to go. God bless you, Dr. Ben. Until we come again next time, have a wonderful week. Please take it easy too. Take it easy so that you'll be around when good governance come, and it will come. In Jesus' name.
To know ADC, you see a handshake, a symbol that